Oh man, I react, but don't ever forget I am the content too. Um, See, the thing about parenting is it is the most responsible job that takes the least amount of qualifications to get. You have to have a resume, references, any of that, but I don't think there's another job with more responsibility than that. And we live in a culture where people, if we microwave, people dismiss everything. If when people don't want to talk about something or they're tired of hearing about a subject, it's well, why do you care? Is it making you any money? Stuff like that, right? But what you fail to realize is when it's your kid, people are gonna feel that way about you. So you gotta know when it's time to care about stuff. Like people can complain about people on the internet with content all they want to, but some of them actually care about people. And parenting isn't easy. And our society is they won't care about your kid, you know? And let's just get straight to this first thing. I just wanna you're not gonna believe it. I just let's just read it. Her son in the third grade, which means he's like 8. My son is in the third. I have an 8-year-old. That a girl was in the classroom giving it under him. I can't even read it. I know how to read, but I'm just so frustrated at this. I don't even want to read the rest of this. But if you see this now, if you look at the people in the comments, which I'm not disagreeing with them at all, I'm actually agreeing with them. But people were talking about how the little girl had to been exposed to that, um, to have that behavior, which I totally agree with, and people do need to investigate that home, but nobody ever mentioned the boy for that conversation to be had with 8-year-olds. Like, I'm not gonna say regardless to what was happening, if that was true or not, but that is speculation. So that's why I would say, regardless to if something was happening at home or not, it's because it's speculation. The conversation, like we expose our children to too much. They're doing all these weird TikTok dances, and then what pisses me off is we live in this culture of people who just think they're right about everything, and you can't tell them or help them. So when people mention this stuff, it's always like, "Well, why are you even looking at it like that? Why are you sexualizing a kid?" And it's like, "No, dummy. We're the parents trying to help you. The person who's sexualizing the kid isn't gonna talk to you about them dancing. They're just gonna have the video saved in their drive and all this stuff. Doesn't make any better that one of the biggest fashion designer is broadcasting that it's legal for them to monetize your minor. S- I I don't even wanna talk about that either. But the main point is, regardless to whether it was the boy being abused, the girl being abused, which they never mentioned the little boy. They didn't. If you go to the comments of this, which I cut out the name, but if you go to the comments of the video, they never mentioned the little boy because at the like, okay, you gotta think about it like this. And this is not a blaming or anything like that. If something happened to that little girl, which led her to do that, and then that little boy had never had any experience like that before, then she just did that to him. She just basically SA'd him, and I'm not blaming the little girl for anything. It's not what I'm doing, it's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is uh, ugly cycle, and we're talking about kids, and we're talking about parents. Regardless, we're talking about parents. Even if, which hopefully so, it's not a situation where something happened to make them hypersexual, which it's a lot of women and maybe even men that, but women talk about it more, that have that experience where something happens to them when they're young and it makes them hypersexual. Like, or they go the other way with it. But women talk about this. So this is a thing. But people as adults, we have to understand where we're aiding in this at. Because this is bad. This isn't good. And like I said before, when the Ari Spears and Tiffany thing came out, people didn't pay attention to the fact that they were actually depicting someone. Like, it was a skit and it wasn't funny, but and it shouldn't have had the kid in there like that. However, it was a representation of something real. And then it takes something like this until that's the first time I've heard someone now speak about that subject again since Ari Spears. But now they're talking about it for real though. That was a skit. And nobody paid attention to the skit was a real person. But then when something like this happens, it's something must have happened. They want to imply now you've seen how, and you were mad about. You should have been mad about it, rightfully so. But what I'm saying is, people weren't focused on the right thing when that skit came out. They weren't focused on what they were focused on in the comment section of this post right here. When I seen that skit, I thought of what they thought about when they had read this. Like, wow, this must have been triggered by something. And a lot of times I notice in our culture now, um, what's going on is with the parents, we a lot of people are so focused on their own lives, whether it just be work or even worse, a personal life that they're not really teaching their kids much. And then some people, men and women, but if you're like a single mother, it's a lot you can't instill in your child that they need to know from a man. And you might be jaded in a way, and you're teaching them that, and you don't even know how you're hurting them, especially if you're a boy. Like you jaded with men, and then you teaching your son, like, it's like, how's he gonna be as an adult? And then it's not, let's get to the second slide. Now this, rest in peace to this girl. This came out a while ago. This is probably this is probably like a year old, this particular clip. This not, um, it's a different reason why I posted this. Um, and this is something that people go through, you know, because it's not easy. It's hard. And then especially, if you it like people have to separate those two. Like she was battling depression and the stress of raising kids alone. Like honestly, somebody might have put that in there. You know what I mean? Like depression is what she that's we're not downplaying raising kids. That's what this whole video is about. But somebody might have put that in there. Depression matters. That is what she was battling. For her kids, she might not have did it, you know. But like I said, it's another reason why I posted this. I want to get to the person who posted this. Um, and I didn't put her name in there. Um, let's put this on full screen. It's sad that in this society, these young black girls are still getting pregnant by men that can't even pull a $700 monthly child support check from. Now, reduced her life to some money. Why do we need to avoid telling them, hey, bitch, the moment you open your legs and let him nut in you, you are now signing up to be stressed out as struggling single mother and you can't complain. We hide the truth from them. Well, people are living the truth. And first of all, that's not the reality unless you are with somebody who's not a father when you decide to have sex with them. Like before you have the kid, he's not a father. However, you see that she turned this into man bashing or man hate. Like it's all about the men. That's neither here nor there. It's actually here and there. Every time I see a young black girl and ask her where her baby daddy is these days, these dudes doesn't even live in the same town and the child is under 5. Like, why are all these the type of people having kids? And men have the nerve to be preaching a message to just and suck on a man just because you like him. My bad, the slide thing in the way. Go back. My bad. Slide thing in the way. And men have the nerve to be preaching a message to just fuck and suck with a man just because you like him and to not expect financial stability, protection, provision, housing, or even help with the kids. Men are preaching that, huh? Men are preaching being deadbeats. Huh? Men are preaching just not be financial stabilist. I can't even say it because it's a lie. Men preaching now. Men are preaching to not be protected, not have housing. Men preaching don't help with your kids. Men are preaching at her. First of all, notice. Never mind. We'll get to that in a second. Let's get to this next slide. It's the same post. The average man in this society should not be listened to. Most men with some money, though, would tell a woman to not mismanage her vagina and to not be the mother who struggles and her kids suffer because she doesn't know how to choose the right dick to suck. Now, notice the shade again. Most men with some money, though, like like if you got money, you're gonna give her the good advice. Like the broke dudes don't tell her the right advice, but some men with some money though gonna tell her to not mismanage her pussy. Like 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 the biggest pookies and ray rays aren't the guys with the money that women just want because they got the bread, but they're not the dads. But some men with some money though gonna tell her to not mismanage her vagina. You see how that is? See how she see how in her brain she'll justify the pookiness of a man with some bread when we all know them are the biggest womanizers in the planet Earth or anything to get to one. He'll justify being with somebody with some money. A man with the money gonna tell her this. He now that he got some money, he's giving the good advice, huh? Yeah, okay. Some men would never leave their seed to struggle. Absolutely not. I don't know any deadbeats. I be telling women that all the time. I really don't. But we don't talk about those responsible men or the women smart enough to choose them. We always they speak for themselves. Or they don't even talk to y'all because y'all get mad anytime anybody talks. The men are whatever, hate their mom, gay, anti-black, whatever insult fits for the men, and the women are pick me's or pick meishes and all that stuff. So the people who try to tell y'all don't want to listen to them, but that's neither here nor there. And the way I wrote that is so blunt. No, it's so disrespectful. Because notice in this whole thing, she didn't even this the whole thing. She didn't even say rest in peace to the girl. She used this girl's death to go on a man bashing rant. Everything is set up to benefit the mediocre men so they can have easy access to pussy. And the women these men deal with end up suffering alone with the kids. By the time most women get a good man, she's already traumatized and used up. See what I'm saying? Now, now you want to make excuses for why when you get to a good man, he's not gonna want you. You're saying you traumatized and used up, but you don't say what the good man thinks about that. He thinks I don't want that. And notice, like I said, she used that girl's death, may she rest in peace, to rant about men. When regardless, to even if you're doing it with somebody a lot of times, most of the time, all of the time, parents are not easy. It's people with in two-parent homes that got a kid that they need help figuring out together. They still don't know how to deal with their son or daughter. So at the end of the day, like you gotta know when it's not like, okay, when it's adult time, yeah, you can do the diss videos and the back and forths and all of that. But when the kids is involved, like people gotta stop being so selfish all of the time. She didn't even care about that lady's death. She just wanted to use, and if you go down her page, which like I said, I didn't even show her. But the point is, you go down her page, is all a bunch of man bash. The girl was battling depression. Did you care about that? You care about mental health? No. if she would have seen that first one that I posted, which man, let me pull that back up because that's ridiculous. Let me pull that back up. If she would have seen this one, she would have went off on the man. She would have went off on the man. Which, like I said, I'm not disagreeing with anybody that thinks that that came from something happening to them. But like I said, nobody mentioned the little boy. But where they got that activity from, it's a lot of this stuff on social media. Like a lot of these reels and stuff is illicit, explicit. Your kids be on TikTok, your kids be on Twitter. Twitter is a porn site. Like I said, I have a third grader. This is crazy. This is absolutely nuts. I get a sound effect. Doing that. Definitely doing this. This gets a boo. So yeah, that's all I got for today on this particular subject. We gotta do better as parents. Argue all day long as adults. Like if people can't figure it out for their kids, then you're gonna ruin the future of the world. Bottom line, real.